In this tutorial, I'm gonna show you how I color graded my recent film from Kyrgyzstan. But I also want to go over a plugin that I think not many people know and can help you achieve better colors yourself. I've been filming and traveling around the world for 5 years now, and every time I get to finally grade the clips that I shoot during a trip, it always comes close to being my favorite part of the process. Now over the years my look has changed, but right now I'm shooting on the Sony FX3 and usually I'm trying to achieve a more cinematic, moody and film-like look. So if this is something you're interested in, this tutorial is for you. Let's dive right in. So first of all, let me show you how to get this plugin and then how to import it. So where we would apply this plugin is right here where it says Matrix. So if we go to effects, you can see that the plugin is installed, but let's say we don't have it yet. Then what we have to do is we go to effects and we go to DCTL and we import this. And now we have to make sure that it shows up here because it won't right away. So the way we get this tetra to show up, this plugin basically, is that we have to go to color management and then we have to go to open LUTs folder. And here in DCTL, we have to drag that in. So once you get the file, which you can find on the internet for free, I'll put a link in the description. Or once you get it through my Powergrade, then just drag it into there and then click on update list. And then it will show up here. So then you can click on tetra and then you have the plugin here. So now, first let's grade this clip and then let me show you how I use this to then make these clips look even better than they already did. So let's go first and apply a LUT. So let's go with one of these. So let's go with this one. It's a little bit strong because I've made them based on Sony log footage, but this is Canon log, so it's a little bit less flat, and therefore we're going to make some changes here to the exposure. So I'm just going to increase the exposure a bit until there, and then also some of the shadows, very subtle. So plus 0.1, and then here we can also add something. Then let's go with the, actually let's add a little bit less. Then let's go with the masks. So here in the masks, usually what I do is I'll have like a vignette, maybe a layer mask, and then also like some boost to show the subject maybe a bit more. So what I do here is I'm gonna go like that, and I'm gonna make everything around the subject a little bit darker. And then I will boost the subject a bit. So as you can see, it's already done here a bit. Around there, looks pretty good. Later I'll come back to this. What I notice many times is that I'll start grading and then later I'll adjust it a little bit again. So now what we'll do is we'll go to the balance, and I find this image a little bit too blue, so I'm just gonna add a little bit of warmth to the gain. It's doing a little bit too much. Something like this. Yeah, something very subtle like this. It could even be a little bit less. It's a bit hard to get it right, something like that. And then later I might still change it a bit. So now let's go to the matrix and let me show you what I changed there. So if we go here, I think in this image we could play around with the skin tones, but they look quite well already. And we can play around on the bottom here as well. But overall this image looks pretty good already, so I'm not sure if we're going to change a lot. So I'm just going to play with it, see if there's something that I want to change here. Usually I just go with like very low numbers here. So this is more like the tint. No, actually on 0 it looked good. So now let's go and see if there's something that we want to change here. This usually changes the tone, the skin tone a little bit. And then we can maybe darken it a bit. So now let's see the before and after of what we've done so far. Yeah, that looks a little bit better. So overall on this image we don't have to change much when it comes to the matrix. So to show you a lot more impact of this actual effect, let me move to the other one, because here I think this looks quite good already, so I'm not going to change much more. So now let's go to this one and let's reset all the nodes. Just for ease, let's take this one and let's just copy and paste it. So as you can see, this was obviously a little bit more flat log, so let me take this back, and then I think I can take that up a bit, take this down again a bit. Something like this looks pretty good. So as you can see, this is like already with the LUT and then with the masks as well. So the masks make a huge difference. Usually back in the days when I didn't use many masks, it would just look like this, but then now with the masks, it will look like that. So what we did is we have the same thing. We make everything around him, around the subject a little bit darker, the bottom as well, and then the boost, and everything falls into the right place on this one. If not, I would have changed the location of things. Also, when it comes to the saturation, I like it here, but one thing to make sure, just so you know, when I change the saturation, I put the color space on HSV and the channel on just 2. And then I go here and I change this, sorry, I have to be on the right note. I change the saturation here, you see? And this does a way better job than just changing the saturation here. So now if I go to matrix, I think here I can make some changes. So let's first look at the skin tones. So as you can see here, we can change the skin tones quite a bit. So something like this looks pretty good. Maybe we can change this one a bit. No, that looks pretty good. Yeah, so right around there. And then if we look at the changes, as you can see, we just made them a little bit. Actually, let's take it up a bit again. Yeah, so something like this looks pretty good. As you can see, it was quite yellowish out of the camera, and then this looks a bit better. And I think we can actually make it a little bit more saturated again. And then we can also play around with the blues, I think. So let's just go here to see what we can do. And now let's go down and see if there's some changes that we can make here. That looks pretty good. So now, as you can see, these are the changes that we've made. However, I want to go back a little bit, see if we can. Let's reset this one. I think something around here is good. Yeah, around there, that looks good. Now, I know that we made some changes here to the gain. So let me see if I actually like that for this image. Yeah, it looks good on this image as well. So yeah, that looks good. Now, if we wanted it to look a little bit more like this, what we can do as well is we can take the balance and then reset the gain. So we can go and we can make it a little bit like it was still. And then we can go to the matrix and we can play around with these. So something like that. This one doesn't really affect it, so around there looks good. And yeah, if this looks too teal, so we can take it like that. And then this looks pretty good, so it looks a little bit more like the image here. As you can see here, I could have done the masks a little bit better, because here the masks looks a bit better. Although we could go in and for this boost we could add a little bit more contrast. So we can take it up, but I think it was a little bit too flat, so yeah, so I think this looks good. So this would be something like the final grade, something like this. I would later go back again and then see. But yeah, let's move on to the next one. So now we have this one, so let's reset everything. I think we could take this one and apply it here, but I know that it's going to be quite cold because of the balance. But let's see anyways, we can go and play with it again. Yeah, so something like this. To this one I would add actually a little bit more saturation. And then let's check the masks, what they are doing. That's pretty good, but I think the boost is a little bit too strong. So let's boost it like that. Let's check these masks. Okay, so those look good. And now let's go into the matrix. As you can see, this one is like nice and warm, a little bit more fitting, I think. So let's reset these. And let's go down here, let's see what we can do. So as you can see here, 0 looks fine. But I think a little bit more warmth like this looks good. And then let's go and see if we can play with the yellows here. Yeah, so this does make quite a difference here, this yellow slider here. No, I think that one we can keep how it was. And then let's see if we want to do something here. So yeah, that looks pretty good. As you can see, it looks quite similar to the final image. There's a little bit more contrast, which I do like. So let's add a little bit more contrast. Something like this. Yeah, that looks pretty similar. So yeah, that's it for this one. So as you can see, the matrix does help quite a lot. And now let's move on to this one. So let's reset it. I do remember that this one was quite difficult to grade, so I was pretty happy with the final results. So let's see if I can just like that do it again. And let's see, we have to play with the masks a lot. So let's put this one here. Let's take it down quite a bit. And let's play with the boost. So we do want to play with the shadows here a lot. And then maybe we can take the midtones down instead. So as you can see, something like that looks a lot better. And now let's go into the matrix and let's play with the colors, because I think we can make them look a little bit more greenish. So let's go to the yellows. This one doesn't affect much, so let's go with this one. That looks pretty good. As you can see here, the matrix node comes in really handy. But as we're making it a little bit more yellowish now, or a little bit more greenish, as you can see, the skin tones are also being affected. So let's go in and change the skin tones again. Something like this looks good. So yeah, that looks pretty good. And then let's see if we want to change something here. No, something like this looks fine. Yeah, this looks a little bit better, so mine like that. Now I think we can do some split toning still, so we go to balance. So as you can see here, the difference as well is just the split toning, right? So I do think still that the masks here are looking a little bit better, so let's go to the masks. And let's add some vignette. Yeah, something like this. And I think that looks pretty good. And then we can still add some gain here. Though it's affecting the skin tones quite a lot, so I might go back and play with the skin tones again. Something like this looks pretty good. So yeah, as you can see, it's not exactly the same, but I'm pretty happy with it. It's sometimes difficult to get exactly the same result. But this looks pretty good. So now let's go back to these images and see if there's something we want to change still. So I think this looks pretty good. So as you can see, like the most important thing is the exposure. Once applying the LUT, it's the exposure, the masks. Everything else you don't really need to task. Everything else. And then the other parts you don't really need to touch. So yeah, this one looks pretty good as well. Now let's also check out this clip here. So let's reset everything. And now let's make a couple of changes. So we'll go to the LUT. We'll choose this LUT. Let's zoom to fit. Okay, let's close this. And now let's grade this. So this one looks pretty good from the start. I don't think we're going to change much. So we're just going to go in Matrix and see if we can make the colors a little bit better. Yeah, so that looks pretty good. So yeah, for this one I wouldn't do much. Let me reset these to see. Yeah, so we can make it a little bit more intense here. Yeah, so that looks pretty good. I think that's all we need. And then this one is graded as well. So yeah, that's how you can use this plugin to really get the colors accurate and to how you want. Especially here, for example, comes in really close just to make it look a little bit more greenish, especially the landscape. So yeah, once changing these colors, sometimes you have to change back the colors of the skin tones. But apart from that, it's pretty straightforward. Alright, so this is how I color grade my videos. If you want to check out the LUTs, then go to the link in the description. This is exactly how I use them, and on my last video I've also used them for the entire film. And if you want to try them out, I've put a link in the description with the clips, so you can just use these LUTs and the Powergrade to see it for yourself on my clips. So then you can also use them alongside with this tutorial to practice yourself.